Guess what, Joe? My name is Nicky Nuno, and this is my first video on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to go over who I am, what I plan to do with this channel, and why you may or may not want to stick around to see it. To start with me, I'm a 19-year-old white boy from Central Florida who's 5'9.5" and does landscaping as a job. I have big dreams, but don't know exactly what I want to do yet. And that is honestly the main reason why I'm starting this channel and why I'm starting to upload on it. I also have an amazing girlfriend named Bella, who I also consider to be my future fiance and future wife. With her, I also have my two adorable cats named Miles and Mira, who I love more than anything. However, what really matters in regards to this channel is my personal interests I would like to share with everybody on YouTube. Now, it's not a lot, but it's a little, and it means a lot to me. And I'm hoping that I can find some people out there who also agree that these things mean a lot to them. Now, you might be asking yourself, what are these things? Don't get too excited, because it's nothing too crazy. The first one is something that's very near and dear to my heart that I have been keeping up with for a few years now and playing for years. Not on any type of school teams or anything, just recreationally. And that's basketball. I absolutely love basketball. I love watching basketball, and I especially love playing basketball. I myself, a few years ago, was not comfortable with how I weighed at all. I was at my heaviest, which was 220 pounds, and at that time, I was only 5'8", so I was a really chunky lad. You know, I looked like a potato with two legs. It was a rough time. However, basketball was my outlet to help me get out of that, because I figured, hey, if I can find a physical activity I can do that I think is enjoyable, why not do that to try to shed off some weight? And in the span of about, I want to say 4 to 5 months, I decreased my eating and played basketball. I would go to school, come home, play basketball for a few hours, or I would go to work, come home, play basketball for a few hours. In this 4 to 5 month time frame, I went from my highest at 220 down to 185 pounds, which is admittedly still somewhat chunky, but I was very happy with how I weighed. At this point, I asked myself, hey, why do I not start just watching basketball again? Because when I was in 4th to 5th grade, the, Golden State Warriors controlled everything. They would come out here and get championships, and the only way they wouldn't is if LeBron stepped in and tried to do it his damn self. However, whenever I went to middle school, I completely stopped watching basketball. Not for really a lack of wanting to, I just stopped. I started middle school, I was a nervous kid, and I didn't feel like I had the time to watch a ton of basketball anymore. But now that I was actually playing basketball again, I figured, why not try? So, I went to my friend Jamin, shout out Jamin, who played basketball, watched basketball, and I go, hey, what team should I watch if I want to get into watching basketball? Now, Jamin, he was a real ball knower. So he told me, hey, if you want to watch some young teams, here's blank, 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 and blank across the league. But if you're looking to watch something a little bit closer to us, which we live in Central Florida, he goes, I would say either the Miami Heat, who seem like they might be really good this year, or the Orlando Magic, who just drafted a #1 overall pick. Now, whenever I was really young, my brother loved the Miami Heat because they had just acquired LeBron James. And whenever we were really little kids, he loved looking at, Dwayne Wade to LeBron lobs, and I can't blame him at all. It's very entertaining stuff. So whenever I hear Miami Heat from Jamin, I go, wow, that could be a fun one. I might want to watch the Miami Heat. But luckily, something came over me. I don't know what it was, but my little ears perked up whenever I heard the words #1 overall pick. It sounded amazing, sounded too good to be true. I don't feel like a franchise would come around that very often. So I go, the Orlando Magic, I've heard of them before. I've heard of Dwight Howard, I've heard of Tracy McGrady, heard of Shaquille O'Neal. Who is this #1 overall pick they drafted? Jamin looks at me and he goes, his name's Paolo Banchero. He's a 6'10" forward who seems really skilled. And he might actually be a really good building piece for that franchise. Now, whenever I thought about this, and I thought about the decision on whether to watch a young Orlando Magic team or a Miami Heat team with Jimmy Butler, it was actually a admittedly pretty tough decision at the time, because an immediate jump into watching something that can go far into the playoffs is, in my opinion, a great way to get into sports. Whenever I watched the Lightning as a young kid for the NHL, I watched their run in 2015, I think, against the Blackhawks, and it was amazing. Now, granted, I was a little kid, I didn't understand everything I was watching, but it was cool to root for a team and know there's actual stakes behind it. So at first, I went with the Miami Heat, and I said, I think I want to watch a playoff team. And I said that. And I said it to Jamin. And Jamin looked at me and he goes, but if the Orlando Magic get good in a few years, it'll be much easier to go to a Magic game. What a great thing to say. Turned my ass around 360. That's a spin, but you know what I mean. And I said, you know what, Jamin? I'll give the Magic a try. I'll watch some shitty basketball to start and hope it gets good. Oh boy. Oh boy, was I in for a treat. Now, I did my due diligence, okay? I said, Orlando Magic, let me get up on my history on this team. I look up best Magic players of all time and their highlights just to get in. Oh boy, if I was looking for highlights, let me tell you, Dwight Howard blocks. You would think NASA got their rocket fuel from his fucking Achilles, okay? That boy can send some shit out of the stands. Shout out to Dwight Howard, who just retired. Tracy McGrady? Oh my God. Oh my God. Not to mention, that boy's dunking that shit on your head. Okay? It was incredible. And then I watched the rookie Shaq highlights. That's just Giannis. It's just Giannis. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because you're telling me to watch this team that's only getting 20-ish wins, something like that. That might be a little low. Sorry. Maybe 30. I don't remember for sure. But it was low. It was a bad amount. And then you're telling me to watch this terrible team, and they might have another generational talent like this. Not generational, but you know what I mean. A great talent. And Jimmy goes, they might have it. Just try it. Just try it. I start watching Orlando Magic basketball. And it was not great. It wasn't bad. It was not the most terrible thing I've ever watched in my life. In fact, it was still very entertaining because it was basketball. I love basketball. But it wasn't great. It wasn't winning basketball. It was very, surprisingly, nitty-gritty, in-between-the-lines kind of basketball. Right? We're not even necessarily outsmarting you a ton, but you come in the paint, and Jonathan Isaac, who, God forbid he gets on you in the perimeter, he will steal that ball immediately, right? And if you drive in, try to do a step back, then he's 6'10" and lean, and he will jump and block it. The defense was nice with him in the front court. But they didn't say anything about the backcourt, because the backcourt has a young Jalen Suggs, who I've never even, again, I'm just getting into basketball again, I never heard of him. But then I look up Jalen Suggs highlights, and it shows a college Gonzaga game winner from half court. Whoa, maybe this young team has something. I keep on watching games. Cole Anthony dunks. Not to mention, teach me how to Dougie. He's dancing before the games, and it's getting me hype as a fly white boy. Okay, I love it. Markelle Fultz. Don't ever talk shit on him, ever. You want to talk about worst number 1 overall picks? Markelle Fultz. Somebody wasn't there. Somebody wasn't there. Markelle Fultz, when I first started watching basketball back then, he's Giannis if he was just 6'4". Okay? The dribbling was amazing. He's lanky, but he can get by you. And the windmills, I swear it was every other game I turned on of Orlando Magic basketball. I couldn't get to the end of one of the quarters without a fast break. Markelle Fultz windmill slam. Okay? I loved it. Not to mention, we have Franz Wagner and Mo Wagner as a really cool brother dynamic duo. And Franz is young and seems amazing. And Mo, just a great guy. Great locker room guy. And you can tell he's really lifting up the team. Not to mention that bench scoring. That bench scoring is insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay? I couldn't believe it. Bol highlights? Oh my lord. 7'2", but built like this? And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I remember, I can't remember if it was Christmas Eve necessarily, or like I don't remember. But that man looked like a fucking monster. He got a dunk. Nope. He got a dunk where his arms stretched out at least 30 feet. And still, hey, put that ball in the net. How? Please tell me how. You had Michael Carter-Williams, Gary Harris, Chuma Okeke. You mean the young Kawhi Leonard? I'm kidding. But still, he was good. Wendell Carter Jr., great player. I know I'm missing some people, but this team was very entertaining. And the biggest thing I noticed when first watching Orlando Magic basketball was, oh damn, this Paolo guy might actually be great. 20 points per game his first season, right? And seemed to be a little clutch. You know, a little bit of ice in his veins, no pressure. I like that. Oh my God. KNOW pressure. Okay. It's tough as shit. Safe to say, I was sold. I was sold. I started watching Orlando Magic basketball, and I loved it. Loved it. I started listening to one of my favorite YouTube channels, The Sixth Man Show. Love y'all. Love y'all. Great content. From The Sixth Man Show, I go to other basketball channels. Through the Wire, now numbers on the board, shout out. King of the Fourth Quarter, so entertaining. I can get home, eat my lunch, and watch one of the best GMs I've ever seen rebuild his team after 0-41 to win the championship? What? I didn't even know that was possible. 82, no, different story, but still, very impressive. Pierre Andreessen, very entertaining. Very entertaining. Numbers on the board, so entertaining. I've never seen a group of people be that close-knit and have that good of a relationship around basketball. Oh my God, it's amazing. I know it's not just basketball, but hearing your basketball talk, so entertaining. Another one, SROS, Sross. Amazing. Love watching him, especially around draft season. He is who I go to listen for that stuff. And my personal favorite, who I watch the moment he uploads, is Rusty Buckets. What an amazing content creator. Love every single video I've seen from him. I don't think there's been one that I haven't liked. His deep dives are very insightful and amazing to listen to for whatever topic he covers. And quite frankly, I agree very much with him politically. So it's very entertaining to me. And you get all these combinations in one to a young boy who just wants to watch basketball. I'm not going to stop. I'm not. And my love in the past few years for basketball has increased so much that I want to use this channel as an outlet for it. You know, I'm getting so much input from so many different sources, especially on YouTube, but across the NBA too. And I want to just make casual, extremely casual NBA content. Okay, sorry for the lighting change. I needed to take a little break. But basketball is the first topic. I think it's very clear. I love it. I should talk about it. As far as other topics go, I don't have anything fully fledged out yet. However, I know that one of them will be just miscellaneous things I care about. What might that be, you might say? I care a lot about Florida, like quite a bit, especially animals and things. And if I could use YouTube as an outlet to talk about those things, I think that'd be not only good for me, but just good in general. I don't think people care enough about their local ecosystems and things. And I think Florida has been struggling a lot recently with development and stuff taking over, you know, animals that have been here for centuries. Florida panther, for example. Other topics include things like potentially cars, maybe. I don't know, I used to really like cars. So if I can get back into cars, maybe cars. Another one will probably be video games. Probably. Because I'm a gamer. I like video games. I play 2K almost every single day. I play GTA 5 occasionally. Other games I play here and there. Some smaller ones, some bigger ones. And keeping up with new games coming out, I really enjoy. Other ones might be things like movies. Specifically Star Wars. I've always been a major fan of Star Wars. Just everything. Especially Clone Wars. I grew up on Clone Wars a lot, and then whenever COVID hit years ago, I got onto it and rewatched all of Clone Wars from start to finish, and I absolutely loved it. It was incredible. Other things might be TV shows, and just honestly anything I really feel like talking about that isn't basketball. Probably just miscellaneous things. The reason why I'm including that as one topic next to basketball being its own topic is because I'm imagining that if I have my own channel and I'm making content repeatedly, that I'm probably going to split it about half and half, or maybe like, you know, half and then whatever with basketball and whatever else. So all of those things can't be their own topics. I'm not going to make anything close amount of content on them as I am to basketball. At least that's the hope right now. And the third and last topic that I want to talk about on this channel is things in my own life. Nothing too personal. I'm not going to be sitting here talking about how I just, I don't know, wax my butt or something. It's not going to be anything like that. Okay? Nothing too personal, nothing too crazy. Just little funny anecdotal stories and things. Like, something my girlfriend went through that I thought was funny, or something I just went through that I thought was funny, especially stuff with me. It's mostly going to be stuff with me, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and tell stories without asking other people's permission first. But if it's stuff with me, I will tell. Simple. I think that's pretty good. So as far as the type of content goes, I believe that's all I will be doing on this channel. If none of those three things sound enjoyable at all to you, you know, if you don't watch basketball, if you don't really care that much about various movies or games and things, and if you don't want to hear about my random stories that I'm going to be telling, which is honestly just because I enjoy telling stories, if you're not interested in any of that, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to watch a single other video from me ever again. If you are interested, though, and you see me continue uploading, which, you know, I plan to do, and you want to give it a shot, please do. You don't have to. But if you do and you enjoy the content, just let me know. For the final part of this video, I would like to give a very small shout out, since I don't have any type of follower base or anything yet. I'd like to give a very small shout out to my favorite creators that have inspired me personally to make YouTube. Now, this list isn't going to be, you know, every single person I've ever watched or anything. It's just going to be the ones that I'm watching right now that give me the sort of inkling this is something I might actually be passionate about. And the ones that really made me love YouTube specifically. The first ones I need to give a very big mention to is Good Mythical Morning. I think it goes without saying that they are one of the biggest creators on this platform for a good reason. They've been there since I was a child, and I've been watching since I was a child. I was a little kid watching two grown men eat disgusting things, argue, talk about whatever, and it was so entertaining, and I loved it. And they still do it to this day, and I still watch to this day. Side note for that, love Stevie, we're all gonna miss you. Secondly on that list, I'd like to give a shout out to Rusty Buckets, who I think right now is the most influential to me personally, because I can relate to a lot of the things that he says in his videos, and they make me want to speak my own truth, my own beliefs into YouTube for other people to witness, for other people to just talk to with me, basically. Another big one who I mentioned way earlier is Jacksepticeye, who I don't watch anymore, admittedly, but whenever I was a kid, oh my gosh, I was glued to the screen. You could not get me away. I absolutely loved every single upload, and I'm just so glad to see that he has made such a good career with YouTube. My last shout out is going to go to all the other basketball channels that I mentioned earlier. That being, you know, the Six Man Show, who cover the Orlando Magic and do such an amazing job with it. I love you guys so much. Numbers on the Board, who I listen to every single day that I work because they are just so entertaining and they keep me locked in while I'm working to everything basketball related while I'm sitting there, you know, doing whatever. And not to mention also SROS, SROS, just amazing content. I love his draft time. Like, anytime I get to right before the NBA draft, I'm listening to every single pre-draft video he puts out to know who is coming into the league, and it gets me so well prepped for everything, even though I don't keep up with college basketball yet, unfortunately. And then, obviously, as previously mentioned with the Numbers on the Board thing, Kenny Beecham, just an amazing content creator. Keeps me locked in on 2K, keeps me locked in on various things around the league. Just so entertaining. Also, Pierre Andreessen, very good too. And Christian, we all love you. Don't get fired. I love all these creators. And one thing they all have in common is they are all on YouTube. And I hope that one day, with this whole, you know, YouTube thing I'm trying, I hope that one day I can look back and say, I have made something to be proud of on this platform as well. And you guys, who I just mentioned, are the ones that inspired me to do so. So thank you very much. That will do it for my first ever YouTube video, of what hopefully will be many. I don't know for sure if it will be. I have no clue how far this is going to go. I'm literally starting it right now because I have passion for it. I keep on clicking this pen. I'm sorry if you hear it. But yeah, I hope you found this at least slightly entertaining. Have a great day.